I established Raw Foundation in 2010, Charlie, just after writing a chapter for the Handbook of Sustainable Literacy on materials awareness. And at the time, I was running a degree course which I wrote on sustainable graphics and packaging. And that incorporated, if you like, not only... It started with the premise, do we need the product in the first place? And really looked at the materials, because designers were so really unaware of a lot of materials that they were using at that stage. But I took it further than that and incorporated into that the whole business model to take in bioregional principles of One Planet Living, the One Planet Living bioregional principles, and what was then, before it was coined circular economy, cradle to cradle, sort of philosophy.
Yeah.
So I established Raw Foundation in 2010, and it was really to focus on overconsumption and to really heighten awareness, to raise awareness, particularly, and on overconsumption and the effects of that.
Yeah.
So to bring into line sustainable production and consumption.
Yeah.
And it was very much focused on solutions focused to provide hope, and systems focused too.
Yes. And you chose to effectively kind of highlight the predicament that we're all in by doing that first amazing trip between Cairo and Cape Town.
Yeah.
And you were actually born in Africa, weren't you?
Yes, I was. In Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe.
Yes.
And so the idea being there, you're highlighting the problems of plastic throughout the continent. And
Yeah.
we're doing the quadrant, where you're putting down the quadrant every 100 miles, every 100 kilometres.
Every 100 kilometres, exactly. And we focused on, Raw Foundation focused on plastic pretty quickly, because we actually did a lot of work on e-waste with Julia Hales, who wrote the Green Consumer Guide.
Right.
But we really started to zoom in on plastics sort of quite a while before City to Sea hadn't been established until 2015. There weren't many organisations really looking at it, apart from Plastic Pollution Coalition, the Story of Stuff, etc. There were about 5 of us pretty much globally really zooming in on it. Yeah. And we focused on plastic because nothing illustrates our throwaway consumer culture better than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sort of, highlights it and sums it up.
Yes. Exactly. And nobody had actually obviously made a trip like that to kind of highlight every 100 kilometres that this, wherever you went, and these rural areas, industrial areas, it was the same problem, wasn't it, all the way down?
Exactly. Yeah, we came down through 10 countries in Africa, from Cairo to Cape Town. As you say, stopping every 100 kilometres to do a square metre quadrat either side of the road. We also sort of went into landfill sites, like, for example, Addis Ababa, to really go and find out what was happening on the ground. Yeah. Talk to waste ministers to establish their understanding of the problem. Mm-hmm. Now, at that stage, I was very much tracking the items, and not so. But as I started, that was in 2015-16. As my journey continued, even in the remotest places, I found plastic everywhere. Wherever there was people, there was plastic. But as I progressed, I started to track the brands. So this time in South America, that was a huge part of my agenda, was to really focus in on the brands too, not just the products, both actually.
Yes. Where did you start in South America? Where was your starting point?
So I started in El Salvador, in northeast Brazil.
Yeah.
And then I came all